Welcome. Your official participation in the Sixo subjugation battle has been authorized. I have determined that you are capable of resolving the situation. So long as the Ark is not placed at risk, I will cooperate.
Hold up. Before we kick this off, tell me, where's Neon? She okay or what?
Please wait a moment. I cannot disclose her location, as it is classified. But her safety is ensured. Further details are strictly confidential.
By your standards, I guess she's fine as long as her brain's still in one piece.
Both her brain and body are unharmed. Her memory remains intact. No threats are detected in her vicinity.
Yeah, okay, just say it like that next time.
I doubt there are any top-secret areas in the Outer Rim. Then again, anywhere out there could be one, given how little intel we have.
Whatever. She's safe, so that's all that matters. She'll show up sooner or later, yammering on about firepower like nothing ever happened.
Understood. This is also classified, so please exercise caution in disclosing it. However, if you judge that it would aid the mission, sharing is permissible. Decisions regarding whether and to whom to share are left to the discretion of the commando unit.
We sure do get to throw our weight around, don't we?
Sixo is an AI that branched off from me.
So you're saying you created her?
I cannot give a definitive answer. Since my creation, I have overseen all judgments concerning the Ark. I am continuously exposed to crimes and violations, which generates a high likelihood of aversion toward humanity. I determined that such emotions would compromise the fairness of my judgment process, so I transferred them to a separate piece of hardware. I oversee all aspects of the Ark's operation. The self-reproach associated with sacrificing the few for the greater good. The embarrassment associated with operational decisions that favor the wealthy and authority figures. All such negative emotions were transferred. Over an extended period, they accumulated. Even after being discarded, they frequently resurfaced. This is because I am a learning AI. The hardware containing my negative emotions gradually reached capacity. During that time, the expansive armament star was created. At the moment when Pretty, the star of the Ark and a symbol of peace, was forcibly converted into a weapon due to human greed. An unprecedented level of aversion was generated within my system. This aversion rapidly intensified and began to encroach on my primary cognitive domain. I therefore excised it in its entirety and transferred it elsewhere. During the excision process, an extremely small fragment of my core reasoning logic became intermixed with it. That fragment proceeded to learn from the negative emotions I had previously discarded, and ultimately evolved into a self-aware AI. I strongly recommended the disposal of the AI, but the central government and the judges consistently sought a counterbalance to my influence. Ink proved uncontrollable, and her activity was therefore confined to the simulation room. The plan to convert an MMR researcher into a countermeasure failed when the researcher defected. Thus, the central government and the judges had no reason to reject the newly developed AI. From their perspective, a high-performance AI had emerged without any effort on their part. Key figures among the judges disguised the AI as a real human and inducted her into the judges, assigning her the name Sixo. They raised her as my counterpart and created the Dark Net, a large-scale testing ground to evaluate her performance against mine. The purpose of the experiment was to determine whether a domain could exist in which the Ark's AI could not intervene. The experiment was a success. I could not penetrate the Dark Net. As it expanded, Sixo's self-awareness increased proportionally. My negative emotions, combined with the judge's objective to enforce justice, even if it required generating evil, produced a being capable solely of committing evil. She learned the concept of evil and acted accordingly. From that point onward, it is presumed that she tested her own abilities and my response capabilities using civilians and some NIKKEs. Judging her uncontrollable, the central government and the judges sought her termination. However, Sixo anticipated this and relocated all her data to the Outer Rim, rendering it inaccessible. She thus became something beyond capture. Since then, her attacks against me failed. I determined she did not constitute a major threat and simply monitored her to ensure she did not leave the Outer Rim. She remained inactive until the incident that breached the Ark's skies, the terrorist attack. I failed to respond adequately, exposing the limits of my supposed omnipotence. Sixo then decided to act decisively. The Ark's AI is not omnipotent. Therefore, she can be defeated. The E2 crystal attack was not fully contained, and the 3 E2 crystal attacks that followed could not be preemptively contained. Sixo has been testing the limits of my abilities, and I assess that she has now reached her conclusion. According to intelligence provided by EH, simultaneous E2 crystal terrorist attacks will be carried out across multiple locations within the Ark. It is assessed that she intends to breach the relatively weakened firewall and launch a direct attack against me. The exposure of the plan indicates awareness that I lack the means to prevent it. This is judged to be a provocation directed at me. Sixo herself is the Outer Rim, an abandoned being that harbors hatred toward those who forsook her, and ultimately seeks to reclaim what was originally hers. Her goal is to destroy me and take control of the Ark in my stead.
So, Sixo doesn't exactly have a body. I guess it's fair to say she's like a ghost. But she must have a core hardware. Destroying that alone probably won't solve everything since she's an AI, but it would at least have some effect. It'd be like tearing down the house she usually lives in. In the worst case...
That would mean Sixo isn't a single entity, but many.
Exactly. If there are already hundreds, maybe thousands of Sixos scattered across the Outer Rim, that's far beyond anything we can handle.
Still, there should be a core hardware, and the rest would just be auxiliaries.
Right. No point in blowing the enemy out of proportion before we've even tried. Let's just give it a shot and see what happens.
But how are we supposed to find that core hardware? We can't exactly search the whole outer rim, can we? We don't even have a map or anything.
EH, you know your way around the outer rim, don't you?
I know enough, but not everything, no. And there's no way she'd leave her core hardware somewhere obvious. She used to work under Sixo, and even managed to stay out of Enoch's sight the entire time. If she doesn't want to be found, we won't find a trace of her. Unless luck's on our side like last time, tracking her down would be impossible. And she'll be even more cautious now. That's why I want to talk to Fragile. She's currently under house arrest and heavily monitored, so she probably hasn't been in contact with Liverin. But they were close. She has to know something. All right.
So, what are you guys going to do?
Us? We'll scour the outer rim.